how do you react to people, coming out completely out of the blue and asking you something that you're not comfortable with? How would you then
I'm
react?
never not comfortable with a question because the answer
Okay.
is always in my control.
Okay. Okay, then this is, maybe then one can just ask you about, today and the stuff that has been going on, the kind of event and the situation that happened with the Ajay Devgan thing. What would you say to something like that? Because it's like a storm which has been swirling around in so many people's heads and out there in social media. So,
To that I just have to say that my self-respect, my reputation, my company's reputation, and most importantly, my upbringing doesn't allow me to dignify this question with even a response.
not even.
Yeah. That's all I really want to say on this.
Okay.
When I moved to Bandra, we released, our first film that we released was Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum. And we all know the syntax of that film. And the last film that came out of the Bandra office was Kapoor and Sons. And we know the syntax of that. So that pretty much explained the evolution of our 16 years in our Bandra office. We evolved. That's because the people around, I allowed myself to evolve as a result of the people that surround me. I think if cinema in the 90s and the kind of cinema and love and romance that has been projected has always been slightly dramatic, melodramatic, theatrical, aspirational. Raj and Rahul that was created in the 90s is an aspirational lover boy to the generation that grew up watching those movies. Today he's a lot more scarred, he's a lot more grey, he makes more mistakes, he falters, he fumbles, he apologizes for his mistakes. He's not as heroic as Shah Rukh Khan's wide-armed, open moment of romance is. When you're single for too long, you surround yourself with too many married people and their problems. In fact, infidelity is now no longer become just like something that was brushed under the carpet and spoken about, behind closed doors. It was a paid preview at IMAX Vadala. And I walked in and at the film screening, and there was a lady and her daughter. And the daughter was weeping copiously. And the woman came up to me and she says, my daughter's husband left her and it's been very traumatic. And I took her out to see a Hindi film to change her mood. And this is what you have made. Most of my professional life, is what dominates my life in general. I don't have a personal life. I'm not in a relationship. I have not been in one for several years. And I think that the extra 8 hours of your day that you would actually give to your lover, your spouse, your child, I give to my company. I would imagine that I would be in an amazing love relationship and which would be stormy and romantic and full of drama and all these things that I put vicariously. I haven't found it. For some reason, it has always stayed away from me. There's no explanation. It does take you to a dark, gloomy place. There are many lonely nights. There are many lonely evenings. There are many lonely moments in your life when you go through a crisis or a problem. It's a bit of a disease, I think. This Twitter, I'm more Twitter friendly in terms of, I don't see myself I'm not on Facebook. It's become my newspaper. It's become my one-stop shop for information on what's happening in the world. But it's a bit too much because you're cluttering your headspace all the time with too many things. I mean, while I said right at the top that opinions matter, but they can't control you. And then information can't rule you. That's what keeps happening when you're kind of obsessed by social media, which I think I'm borderline am. It's a bit of a disease. You either have the big event film or you have the breakthrough film like a Nirja or a Kapoor and Sons, or you have the big event film like Sultan. And when you look through the year, you have about 6 or 7 of those experiences, that have happened. The Rustam, the Airlift, Nirja, Kapoor and Sons, which are like a little more of the more evolved cinema experiences. You plan a film and show me. On a piece of paper, I'll tell you the basic recoveries. Just 4 very important figures I'll put down for you. And then you realize whether you should make the film or not and what budget it should be made in. What shocks me is when some people actually don't do that basic mathematic before actually putting a film out. What I say very proudly about our industry is that we are one cinema that have never depended on Hollywood money to kind of be who we are. We've always been powerful because of our audience space. Our domestic audience is very strong. No international studio brand can fill in the bums on seats. It's not possible. Neither can we as filmmakers. Only films can do that and movie stars can do that. You can't take somebody who has a business background, put them into the movie industry and say now, green light movies. It's a creative industry eventually. It's a business as well. And it's a balance you strike between commerce and art. But in the movies specifically, the tilt will always be towards the art. Eventually, in years, digital will be our parent. television will be the annoying mother-in-law and film will be the trouble child. And I think that is what I'm afraid of. Right now, cinema is the trouble child. But writers have to be empowered. We have to make better films. We write really poorly. We don't empower our writers. Our problem is that we want to pay actors a lot of money, directors a lot of money, and not pay the writer, where actually the writer is the most important resource in a film. Writing is the soul of a film. You being a critic, Shubhra, I'll ask you, what is the one thing that fails every Friday for you? Is a screenplay. That's the one thing. Because the one thing that you cannot, no director can go beyond a poor screenplay. You will correct it, you will probably make it better, but you'll never make it into a great film if the writing is not strong. And I think that's what we first need to do, is go down to that, change and empower our writers. Today, I go to only casting directors to cast, like you want new faces, new emerging talents, and you don't know of them. I love award shows because I get paid to host them. These award shows are television shows. They're entertainment shows. I would love to win them, and you must take them seriously the year you get them. But the year you don't get them, you must say they're nothing but money-making aspects, and then diss it. But when you get it, you must praise it. It's very simple. My observational powers are always at its biggest limit when I'm traveling, and I think things, even within our country, it's just power of observation. It takes very little to actually observe, relish, and then emulate. Sometimes, sitting on the fence can hurt, pun intended.
Yeah.
But I think it's integral for you not to take any kind of sides in any dynamic, because maintain your own individual equations with people and not get involved. And the people who ask you to take sides, those are people I don't agree with at all. These taking sides and teams, and I think that's things we did in high school, and I don't think that I'm way beyond it in my head.